Hey everyone, welcome to today's pre-conference webinar. We're going to have an exciting session for you. Before jumping to that, I just want to share a few things about why we're doing this and what's the context around this pre-conference webinar series. This is because we're going to have a conference. The Appium and Selenium conference are happening together next March 26 to 28 here in Valencia, in Spain, and we're looking forward to see you all. We have an exciting agenda, but we have an exciting agenda because we have really good topics. We have topics around different areas that cover browser and mobile automation. This is not only focused on testing, but we also have things around observability, synthetic monitoring. We have new topics like AI. AI is a huge part of the conference this year. We also have things around accessibility, which is one of the major topics in the European Union this year as well. So have a look at the agenda we have for the conference. And we have such a great agenda because this group of people help us to rate, review, and select every single talk that we have on the draft. However, we had so many good proposals. We had over 200 proposals, and many of them were pretty good. And it was such a shame to leave the ones that we couldn't actually select to be part of the program, just to leave them out without any chance to share that knowledge, that content, that good set of speakers with the rest of the community. So that's why we created this pre-conference webinar series to share with you all the exciting talks that were part of this call of proposals that unfortunately we couldn't have in the conference. So have a look at selenium.com/agenda. You will see all the exciting things we have. We have really good keynotes. We have Almudena Vivanco here from Spain. We have Angie Jones coming from the United States. We have different things around the conference that are very interesting. So have a look at it. Head to the registration page we have at seleniumconf.com/register. The conference is priced at 349 euros, just the conference. And if you're interested in a webinar, in a conference and the workshop as well, it will be priced at 649. But if you are interested and you want to get a discount, you can use the discount code PRECONFWEBINAR and you will get 10% off your ticket price. Today, we have an interesting talk that was one of the most interesting ones we got that unfortunately couldn't be part of the conference. It's an interesting approach about how to drive automation based on the configuration that you can have on different places. So I was intrigued by how this could be done, and we're happy to have today Karan with us that could actually tell us a bit more about that. So welcome, Karan, to the stage. Happy to have you here, and thank you for being here and share your knowledge with the community.
Yeah, thanks, Diego. Thanks for having me here. Really excited to showcase my thing here.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to see what you want to share with us. Personally, it was like an interesting approach that you were proposing, and again, we're happy to have you here. So I'm gonna let you share your screen so you can start your presentation, and yeah, you can take it off from here. So can you share your screen, please?
Yeah, I hope my screen is visible.
There you
Diego,
go.
is my screen visible to you?
So I can see, like, well, I can see your screen, but you should exactly that looks good. Okay, I'll let you lead. So the stage is yours. Thank you very much.
Okay. So hi everyone. I am Karan, and I will be presenting before you an approach where dynamic locators help to optimize front-end automation for backend-driven applications. Before that, I would like to provide a quick introduction about myself. So, uh, I am Karan, and it's been great, around 5 years serving this industry in QA domain. And I have worked with technologies around virtualization, e-commerce, gaming. When I say gaming, skill-based and fantasy-based gaming. And right now, I'm working with Play Games 24/7 as an estate. Uh, so jumping on the topic quickly, dynamic locators on runtime. Uh, when we mention dynamic locators, so the need or the idea to convert a static locator into dynamic locator uh, was in was an invent is was needed to address a problem like the challenges which we face in front end automation we for the applications which are backend driven. So when I mention backend driven applications, I want to be uh, uh, very much scope specific for this. The applications where front end is only liable to show up what backend has provided, I am covering all those applications as backend driven application. So this was a complete backend driven thing, and we wanted to have it in front end automation. We wanted to cover this as a part of front end automation and with a good coverage as well. So to ensure the reliability of the locators and to ensure that automation doesn't break whatsoever the case is, that if backend is providing me a, a element to display on UI or not, whatsoever the case is, my automation should not break and it should run smoothly. Uh, so first of all, let's discuss about what is a dynamic locator or what I am marking here as a dynamic locator. Uh, it's a clear case. So the same problem statement which we went through in last slide, I would like to visualize that particular problem, uh, that particular concept which I just tried to elaborate in the last two slides. Uh, let's say this is these are two views of the same application, where user one template X is having this particular view where uh, there are three sections further divided into three and four parts, three and four parts respectively. And let's say there is another user on the same application and getting a altogether different view uh, in one or the other way. And there can be multiple views to this application. They Cutting it short, let's say this complete view for the user is experimented based on what user is performing or what user actions are there. So one direct example to this uh, can be a food ordering app, can be a e-commerce app like Amazon, something, any particular platform. So taking an example of food ordering app or e-commerce app, so let's say you have a recommendation for uh, good offers, and I have a recommendation for uh, good restaurants near me. You have a recommendation coming for, okay, this is the dish you like, and the application will show up with some different data on your screens. Let's say you like to have a pizza mostly, and you'll be getting recommendations for pizza and restaurants around that. And I might be loving good offers, so I won't be seeing the recommendations for good food. I would be seeing recommendations for what good offers are running on. So the ultimate goal of the app is completely the same for both the users, but the placement of features, the placement of UI elements is different. So to cover those aspects as front end automation in front end automation, so I have tried to implement an approach. This concept completely works on what feature you want to automate. It will find the feature for you, that what is where is it present on your screen, and uh, it will drive you through it will help you to drive the feature automation ahead. So what is the dynamic locator process which we will be using, or uh, which we should have to automate applications like this? So very first thing, our complete concept is dependent on backend responses, the response which backend provides to front end client to show up, whether what all things to show up on UI. So I would like to mention here, this approach might not be feasible for every product. This approach can be feasible for most of the products, but with certain prerequisites. So I will be discussing about those prerequisites after some time, uh, in later slides. But quickly going through what is the process which we are following here. Uh, it is a it is completely for the backend driven application. Since it is completely for the backend driven applications, we will be uh, dependent on backend responses from the backend services present, and we try to spot the elements, so using some unique keys. So in my case, a deep link was a unique key. So the product for which I was automating it, it was a deep link which initiates a new feature, which takes you to a new view of that particular feature. So it can be an id, it can be feature name. For me, deep link was serving the purpose. uh, After spotting that deep link, or after spotting that unique key, I was backtracing from that particular element where I spot the deep link, and converting that path, in that JSON path, into a locator. So how I was able to convert that JSON path into a locator, we'll be discussing this in the slides further. But yes, this certainly requires some prerequisites. Uh, a quick before going through this slide, I would like to come back to this slide and give you a quick overview that what exact problem uh, this can solve, what potential this approach or this concept has in it. So if you see user one template x, user one template x have four headers, and they are somewhere in out of these one of these four headers, we have a feature named xyz in row 2, in section 2, and first row and second card. So I am pointing for the green highlighted area. And for user 2, which is having template y, it is having four headers as well as four footers, and your feature can be present in any of these footer or header. And certainly, and the most trickiest part here is, there your feature was present in a section which was in a part of 1 cross 3, uh, horizontally, and here also it is present, but it is also in a section which is 1 cross 3, but it is attached vertically now. So how to figure out these kind of things and how to move ahead with automation, this is what we are trying to solve. So the first prerequisite is to, just like uh, back end and front end development teams, dev teams sign some contract. Okay, if this is going to be the API request, then we'll be providing this response, and so on. What will be the type of uh, what will be the character type, what will be the variable types, and all those things. Similarly, we have to a front end automation team, front end automation development teams have to sign a contract with front end product development teams, so to name and divide the complete view of the applications with certain names or keywords, and also provide indexing to that. So when we'll provide indexing to these, eventually the backend response will be having a complete hierarchy. Okay, this is footer 1. Inside footer 1 there are four headers. So let's assume this is footer 1. The screen, the dummy screen which you're seeing on the right side of the slide, Let's say this is footer one, but there's no footer present here, but let's assume that this is footer one, and this footer have four headers, and in this header there are three sections, uh, and in the third section in first row we have our feature present which we are trying to capture, or which we are trying to uh, get or automate. So when you will be having a this level of indexing, you can just directly hit a backend API to get what view backend service is providing to my current user. And after hitting that API, I can just search for this particular feature or this particular element which I want to track. Just as I mentioned, for me, deep link was serving the purpose since it was unique. It can be any other keyword or any other attribute which can serve your purpose. So just to demonstrate or illustrate a quick thing how we can get the locator, or how these can be spotted. So for me this approach worked well. So I divided my complete user template into following parts, where P denotes the page index, HT denotes the header tab index, P denotes means I am denoting footer as a page P. uh, S denotes a section, SR denotes section row, and C denotes the card number. So for me, the highlighted, whatsoever area is highlighted right now in blue, the locator for this would be something like T underscore P0 underscore ST0 and so on. So this is how we are trying to convert a JSON path into a locator. Uh, Coming to next, how to achieve dynamic locators, the prerequisites which I was trying to convey in the earlier slides. So there are four simple requirements to implement this. The FE dev and QA automation teams contract, which we have already discussed, to backtrace the JSON path and convert that into a locator. uh, as I also already mentioned, pass the backend API response and generate locators through that. So doing all these things, my backend response itself will be providing me certain attributes for what to show in that card, or what to show in that section, what will be the color, what will be the text there, what will be the font, all these things. So while I am processing that particular backend API response to get my locator from there, I can also store the attributes present there for performing certain assertions or more for at test level. Uh, so this was the approach which I have taken you through, and I think it proves it has proven beneficial for me while automating front end applications which are backend driven. So this is something which will be uh, helpful even when you want a good coverage in automation, good regression coverage, I would like to mention in automation, and will not allow your code to break with when some of the things are breaking, some of the things are changing on your front end application. So there can be certain enhancements added to this, like let's say some scrolling to that particular element if it's not visible on the topmost screen, or fetching fetching an element on different header or different footer. It can be achieved from the very same locator. It's the only one thing, the one dynamic locator, you fetch it and you can proceed with your automation ahead. You need not to worry where your footer is, where your header is. Your locator has all the information with you, and you can proceed with fetching the information from locator. Okay, I have to move to locator, I have to move to footer 3 and header 4. Click on footer, click on header, you will be there. So quick things what dynamic locators solve for us, why to adopt these dynamic locators. So the very first thing which I just recalled, it adapts to frequent UI changes. Whatsoever the UI changes, present, it will help you by not making your automation scripts break. It also reduces and the maintenance efforts which we sometimes provide when there are certain product changes. uh, yes, it also supports the extensive and covers the front end automation for backend driven apps to a very large base. So scalability is one of the thing in front end automation. uh, what we should watch out for before implementing dynamic locators, the very first thing is collaboration. So when I say front end, it requires front end alignment. When I say this particular thing, we need dev support here to implement. uh, we need support here from our team to implement the indexing part of the application. And also the complete JSON can be a hand to handle complete JSON can be a complex thing. For the POC which I did, it was uh, around 1500 lines of JSON per section, which I was playing with. So that's the level of complexity which you're getting, but it completely depends on product to product. uh, so these were the things which I wanted to highlight, and these were the concept which I have driven through to cover an automation for backend driven application. uh, if I can just quickly show you one last part. Uh, so I won't be able to show you the end-to-end implementation for this, but I have cut shorted and kept certain certain utilities which helps me to drive and fetch out the locators from JSON path. So coming first things first, so very first method, get locator from JSON, talks about providing my getting and fetching my JSON lobby, uh, JSON JSON response from backend API, and providing it to my next method, where which says find deep link from find deep link path. So for me, deep link was a unique key, so I am finding that deep link path here. It is a recursive approach, since uh, my response from the backend API, which I was working on, was really big. So I preferred moving ahead with the recursive approach, and I am trying to differentiate within my JSON at three levels, which is one of this is JSON object, one is JSON array, and third one is JSON primitive. So I know that my deep link will be a JSON primitive itself, so I have kept a check there. And as soon as I get my JSON primitive, my code will my utility will backtrace from there, and my recursive method uh, will return me a path to that particular deep link node. Once I get this, then I convert. So actually, this is the contract which I have signed with my front end product development team. uh, After I get my path, I'm converting it to the locator as per the indexing and as per the contract I have signed with the development team. So once you get the locator, you can play with it with its attributes, play with how it looks like, and things around that, and where it is placed. Most the most important thing here. So this was a quick demonstration of what I have implemented as part of this particular POC, and it's really being very helpful to write scripts which don't break after changing of front end automation locators. And yeah, I'm really happy and looking forward to uh, contribute and look for uh, certain implementations. Yeah, Diego, I think I'm done.
All right. Thank you, Karan. Thank you for sharing that. I find the approach interesting. I wonder, while we get some more questions from the audience. I was thinking while watching the presentation, um, if you were able, like, how was the conversation with the front end team to agree on a contract?
So at my end, we were building whole new, like a new product, a product from scratch. So it was very easy to add the indexing part at that particular point in time, because it was not an additional effort for the front end team to think what approach they will be following or to have a passage there. So for me it was a really easy thing, but yes, the collaboration was around the things that what naming shall we place, what all new add-ons can be there in future, and how will we be tackling that. And yeah, those things were around us.
Got it. And the other thing was, if the convention was like a collaborative effort, or was something that you proposed and everyone was okay with it.
Yeah, it was a collaborative effort, obviously. So the same logic which front end development team was using to build indexing, I also indirectly tried to implement the same to decode the JSON path. So that was uh, that was certainly the same approach, because I wanted to proceed with uh, what exactly attributes they have provided, what exact attributes they have provided, and fetch the same from their backend responses. So it is kind of using the same methodologies what front end layer is using to showcase the elements on uh, on the application. I'm using
Mhm.
the same backend response to fetch the locator for that very particular element.
Okay. And when there is a change in the locator or a change in the structure, what does the team do? Like, do you have to go and like redesign the structure, or do you have to just change the locators in the
So
document?
yeah, so to address your question, so we have different types of sections already created. So I have around 10 types of sections where I already have okay, my types of section, let's say one section has only image, one section has some text within it, another section has a CTA as well there. So there are certain 10 types of sections, basis on I am reading the section type and section name as well from the that very particular backend response, and I'm fetching and moving ahead with that section name as well. So tomorrow, if let's say a new type of section comes in, all we have to do is we have to educate our automation script. When I say educate, we have to add in our automation script that this is the new type of section. If you get this type of section from backend response, you have to behave this way, and you have to fetch these attributes and work ahead.
I see. I see. Okay. I think the last question I have before I'm still waiting for the audience to jump with a question or a comment. Um, like, what advantages have you seen after adopting this approach?
Hmm. So the very first advantage, the most important, the most important aspect for why we implemented this, was to cover a feature as part of automation regression on different views in different headers. Let's say my feature is placed right now on the very top. If it is working fine, my feature has now shifted to the last of the page, to end towards the ending of the page on the application. If it's working fine, my feature has shifted to a footer or some deep link, different areas, and altogether different concept. So this was the very first thing which we achieved using this. Second part was when we uh, means when we put it other way around, the uh, how to maintain locators, how to proceed with upcoming new locators. So until my locators is a dynamic, I can fetch it dynamically. I don't even need to maintain a locator in my locator sheet or locator file. It's completely, this utility is helping me to find out a locator and use it at the very same time, and destroy it in the next moment when the task is completed. So a kind of thing is, when it is a dynamic locator, you don't even worry about that what the locator is. So these are the two major advantages which I have got from it.
Okay, I understand. Um, okay, the audience seems to have everything clear. I don't see any questions from them. So unless you have something else you would like to share, I think we can start wrapping up. Because yeah, probably they don't have any more questions. I don't
Mhm.
see any comments. Um, so yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we are good to wrap it up, and I always look forward for opportunities like this to contribute and to share the technologies and the concepts and or the approaches which we have implemented to share with the community, and how it can be helpful, and how can we leverage the importance and the things around the community. So yeah, looking forward for next opportunities like this. Thanks for having me, Adego.
And we appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your presentation, the ideas that you have. And yeah, until the next time. So I'm gonna move you backstage, but maybe you can stay around and we can have a final
Yeah,
chat
sure.
after we end the stream.
Thank you.
Uh, Thank you. Yeah, folks. So let's start wrapping up this week's webinar. I just wanted to remind you before wrapping this up that we're still selling the regular tickets at 349 and conference plus workshop at 649. But if you use the discount code preconf webinar, you will get a 10% discount. And before wrapping everything up, I just wanted to announce that next week we're gonna have Shritech. Um, Shritech is gonna talk about an interesting mix, Selenium and OpenCV, how this can help you improve your visual test automation. So be sure to turn up in 1 week at the same time, same hour. So looking forward to see you all next time. If you have any questions, any feedback, please send us an email to organizers@seleniumconf.org, and we'll be happy to reply, listen, and read your feedback and improve based on your comments and opinions. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend, and thank you for being here. Bye.